Portici Street, Bolzano. The ring of a bell breaks the morning silence, stirring up memories of times past, when it marked the start of the 4 mercantile trading markets that were held in the city from February to December. Little by little, the streets were filled with conversations in many languages. They were the voices of the merchants who came from all over Europe. Bartering started over the prices of the goods: wool, silk, cotton, wine, and cereals. By the end of the 14th century, Bolzano was an important and lucrative market, and at its peak, up to 4,000 tons of goods were moved annually. This is the story of a city, of its ancient business spirit, and of a palace. Our story begins in 1708 in the wealthy and elegant city of Bolzano, at the construction site for a new building. Its style differs from the surrounding architecture. With its rigorous and severe tone, it suggests an Italian style. Francesco Perotti, an architect from Verona, designed the project. The building would host the new headquarters for the Mercantile magistrate. The production costs were financed by the very merchants who participated every year in the Bolzano markets, which brought fame to the city from all over Europe. Today, the Mercantile Palace is the guardian of a story that was written by enlightened sovereigns and enterprising merchants, the main players of this long era, which endured for over 3 centuries and marked the time when Bolzano was one of the most important crossroads of European trade. A portrait. It's the descendant of a family with expertise in banking and international trade, Claudia de' Medici, ruler of Tyrol, since 1632. Merchants went to her asking for modernization and efficiency. They wanted administrative rules for the market and a special court to hear all of the possible controversies that came about from bartering, buying, and selling. She responded by setting up the Mercantile Magistrate, an effective and time-efficient judging body composed of officers that were appointed by the merchants themselves. Claudia imposed rules and drew up statutes. And in the city, a meeting point between the commerce of Northern Europe and the Italian states, the new regulations prominently stood out for their modernity and efficiency. The ruler declared that the merchants would be guaranteed their rights during the proceedings by appointing an equal number of Italian and German judges. A treasure chest. Its complex and handcrafted mechanisms remind us what trade is made of: courage, initiative, intuition, and a lot of caution. But it is also made of deadlines, agreements, and ordinances, and, moreover, of the added pressure of doing risky business due to the fact that since the 1600s, Bolzano was not only an international trading point, but also a place where valuable currencies were exchanged. The merchants, coming from Aosta, Venice, San Gallo, Lyon, and many other European cities, here made deals buying and selling their goods, speculating about the prices of other trading places. And then, they had to keep the books and update their samples, often working late into the night. Bolzano became an international trade center due to its ruler's foresight, which confirmed over time the trading privileges of the Bolzano markets and opened the door to the free circulation of goods. And here in the main hall of the Mercantile Palace, the merchants commissioned paintings of the European monarchies in exchange for the favors given to them. A work of communication that celebrates the principles and sovereign trade protectors, while simultaneously legitimizing the important growth of the social and political role of the merchants. Even the choice of furniture is a calculated declaration of principles. Sobriety and magnificence alternate between one another. Each object is here to remind us about the belief of a modern and enterprising Europe, and that the wealth of a nation begins with free trade. The Mercantile Palace's bell announces the end of the market, and all of the appeals must be received by the Chancellor's office. The merchants begin delivering their orders. They will meet again in a few months. The sounds of new agreements being made will emanate from the covered walkways, and the mercantile magistrate will ensure fair trading. The long era of the Bolzano markets ended in the first half of the 1800s, a little over a century after the beginning of our story. The competition from the new trade fairs, which were more modern and efficient, coupled with the establishment of other mercantile trading markets, emptied the Bolzano exchange. The role of the mercantile magistrate was abolished, and the responsibilities and duties were taken over by the Chamber of Commerce. For Bolzano, it was the decline of an age. Passing through Bolzano in 1786, Goethe writes, "The market of Bolzano fosters a remarkable silk trade, but the merchants come in great numbers, especially to get paid, to get orders, and to open new credit lines. Today, the Mercantile Palace Museum hopes to remind the present-day visitors about those extraordinary days.